Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to make a quick update video for you guys and just give you guys, I guess it's not an update, right? It's more like just kind of like a preview of what I'm going to be looking for when it comes to AMC on Monday and going into this week. So, yeah. If you enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like on the video, drop a comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. And watching until the end is the very best way to tell the YouTube algorithm that I'm doing a good job here. So anyway, obviously there have been a few things that we've been covering in the channel. We've been covering AMC's recent price action from a white coffee standpoint. We've also been covering cycle theory and things of that nature. And I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really looked at the cycle theory comparison of like this most recent. Almost looks like a cup and handle, like a shorter term cup and handle is forming here. But like I said, I believe I said in my video on Friday that I posted that, you know, if it is the cycle, it's pretty clear that we've actually seen somewhat of an expansion. So if you were to look at the previous cycle, and you were to zoom in maybe on a shorter time frame, you would see a more similar movement. So, yeah. So like you see here, we could be at any one of these we could be at any one of these, really. Any one of these kind of handily looking sections. So if you want to, we can go over here and we can count through just how many of those we've seen. So the first one, I don't know if I would count this one. I'd count this one probably, this one. And now we're making like a really big one here. So for those similar sort of moves, let's see, how many did we count back here? 1, 2, 3, 4. We could be coming to the fourth one, but I will say that from just like a basic technical standpoint, and not looking at it Wyckoff, not looking at it any of the other ways, one of the things that I did notice, like as the day was closing, and was looking for, is somewhat of this rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern, to be breaking to the downside. So let me show you that. Something like this. No, it's actually like here. Boom. Yeah. So, and then the breakout target for this would be about where it started, which is like this $39. And really what it, you know, if you look at it from a Wyckoff perspective, and this is why I've been talking so much about Wyckoff and how, you know, it's kind of almost like all these patterns are just like a result of Wyckoff rather than, you know, the opposite being true. But it just looks like it's like a short-term distribution within to me, it looks like a short-term distribution within a larger accumulation. And so let me explain that. If you're not familiar with Wyckoff, let me show you the distribution schematic that I'm referring to. And then just to like confirm it a little bit, this is the distribution schematic. And so on the shorter time frame, this is what I'm looking at. You can see here that buyers are starting to lose a little bit of momentum in this region. And what I mean by that is, you see these big green candles right here. This is a buying climax. And then you have like this secondary kind of move up that's a higher high. Oh. Yeah, this higher high develop. But in volume, you're seeing a lower low, like this divot. And now you're seeing bears regain strength. You see that bearish candle? So what I expect to happen next is price to sort of roll over here. And then maybe we make one last move down below $40. Because as you can see in the schematic, it's essentially just the practice of buying and selling and creating an environment, and then eventually just ending up where you started. So, and I really think that this is the distribution here. So I think that we may go below that $40 level. This is a 5-minute chart, by the way. So if it does happen, I think it's going to be relatively quick. So like on a larger time frame, like a 4-hour chart or something, it's really just going to look like a wick. It's not going to look like a really substantial move. but it plays into the larger accumulation schematic that that we've been developing. And let me show you that. So I was telling Colin this, Colin_Gladman. If you're not familiar with him on Twitter, he does cycle theory and stuff like that, but he's been picking up on the Wyckoff stuff. So what's happening right now is, well, let me show you the shorter time frame again. So I believe that what we have happening is that we have an accumulation, okay? So it could look something like this, an accumulation. So cell climax, automatic reaction, cell test sort of thing, and then and it doesn't have to be exact, but you know, you're getting the idea. And then so actually I think it would look more like this schematic. You might have this like spring occur. That would be like my early move below 40. I don't think it'll go, if it goes below 39, I don't think it'll go down there for that long. I mean, I could be wrong, so obviously not financial advice, you know, whatever. I'm just, you know, charting stuff, so giving you my opinion, my take on things. So I would assume that what's going to happen here is you have this move down, maybe you have another secondary move here, and then boom. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, and I'm not saying that it'll not necessarily happen by the 9th or whatever. Just overall, this is the sort of movement. Now, why I say I think that we're in an accumulation within an accumulation within another accumulation. Okay, and so hopefully this isn't too confusing, and I'm just realizing that I sound a little bit confusing. So this itself is a larger accumulation as well. And this is from October 21st until now. And in this one, I believe that if you're just looking at it from a phase perspective, I think that this is a sign of strength on this one. So you can see in the little example chart in the bottom right, that would be where you break the top of the trading range. And basically what this means, like for institutions, essentially, is really what matters, like what we're paying attention to with Wyckoff, is that you basically have this trading range that develops, right? And they're trading within this range, and I guess, I mean, you could drag it down here, whatever, it doesn't really matter. You're trading within this range for a certain amount of time, and then finally the stock breaks above that trading range. That's your sign of strength, right? You broke the trading range, so you showed strength in the trade, right? And so basically, whenever they caused this move up, they saw people buying in, so then they sold off so that they could come back down here and accumulate one more time before they basically had the markup phase, which is phase E. You can see in the example chart in the bottom right that what they do is you have the phase E. So what's happening is you have accumulation within accumulation, right? And what that's going to look like is, again, to you know, maybe you create a higher high here, boom, you break below 40, freak people out, and then boom, you have your markup phase, right? So then there's another accumulation, and I hope that this is, I don't know if this is going to hit home. Well, you have, so then you have this larger accumulation here, okay? People who don't like technical analysis are going to hate this video, but I guess that's kind of the, you know, going to happen no matter what, so. Hopefully this is making sense for those of you who have been asking me, like, hey, can you explain, you know, Wyckoff, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully this is kind of giving you an idea of how it's playing out on this chart, is that it continues to repeat itself. So on this larger accumulation that goes all the way back to like mid-September, what you have going on here is that, in my opinion, you're at a last point of support. So in phase D, you see that LPS? I mean, really? Because you would say, you would come down here, really, and then this would be like a break above the trading range. You could say that this is the sign of strength for this trading range as well. Yeah. And then this is like a backup phase. So yeah, I mean this is entirely plausible actually. Now that I'm looking at it here. So basically, a backup phase is after you have your sign of strength, you back up into the trading range. They accumulate one more time, and then they have the sign of strength. I mean, I will say that looking at this, it looks pretty good. Let's see what we would have said the top of the trading range is. Yeah, you see this? See this wick right here? Hold on. That comes up here. You see how this candle right here has this wick that creates this? Look at where we got stopped. You can see this is a significant resistance here. I mean, it's possible that we just swing right up out of this thing. So if you see, if you see early that we swing right up out of this thing and we go to 45 or something, I mean, it's totally possible that, you still come back down. You do this sort of thing here, and then you break up. That's why, like, I got that comment, like, this guy commented, your Wyckoff theory didn't work or whatever. Like, it's clearly all playing out on these accumulation schematics, right? Like, there's no doubt, man. There's no doubt that this is happening. It's not about, like, timing and, like, for me, it's not about dates and, like, getting the exact, oh, it's going to break out on this day. That's more of a cycle theory thing, and I think that, maybe last week taught us some lessons on the cycle theory. But just to expand on this even more, this is also an accumulation. This all the way back to July, right? So they're playing out the schematic. Bullish institutions, I believe, are playing out the schematic over and over again. Now on this one, I do see this as that phase D last point of support. So what's most important is the big picture, right? That's the most important thing. And you could see here, we get rejected here, we come back up, get rejected here, boom, sign of strength here. And that's what we're looking for, is that big move above 50 basically to break the trading range. Come back, test it here, and then boom. And look, this is no different than what you saw play out back here, okay? So let me just show you, because I already have this one mapped out. And I realize that this, so far, it's been a little bit like I'm not explaining every little detail or whatever, so it might not be the best video for those who are really trying to learn Wyckoff, but I'm going to make, like, specific videos that are tied to that. It's just that, oh, man, we're so close, dude. Let me, where's it at, dude? Where's it at? Before June, there it is. So yeah, so this is basically the same thing, right? You had your sinus, your LPS. You come back here, test. You break above. Boom. You come back and retest. Come back and retest. You come all the way back down here, and then boom, arc up, right? I mean, this is obviously Wyckoff accumulation. I mean, you're stuck in the trading range. You're getting, they're exhausting retail by getting people's hopes up and then crushing their dreams and then getting their hopes up, bringing them back down. Oh no, it's just going to go down like it always has. And then boom, right? Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. So, looking at it from that perspective, am I saying that it's going to happen next week, that we're going to have this break above $50 or whatever? I mean, I don't know. I'm not here to predict the future. I'm here to kind of just give you my take on things and show you how I'm looking at it, and then whatever you take from it is what you take from it. What would this tell us? So if we just measured this sort of bars pattern, maybe we expanded a little bit to account for the time difference. I believe that this is happening about 1.5 times slower. Yeah, I mean, this would say that we should have a pretty big move to the upside this week. Now, if we don't, if we don't, it's still the same. It's still the same thing though, and that's why I'm so confident. Another confirmation point that you really want to look for when you're looking at the Wyckoff on this is when you look at your volume, right? So look at the volume while we've been in this accumulation schematic. The thing that you want to look for in accumulation is a general downtrend in volume, which we clearly have here, right? Disregard the peaks for a second and just look at the general trend of the volume. You can see it's on a downturn, right? But we do have these peaks. And what you want to see about the peaks is that the peaks are dominated by bulls in order to signify that it is in fact accumulation. And I'll show you an example of bears dominating volume or volume. This is Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin, back in from basically January up until May when it had its correction. And obviously, does this chart look familiar to you at all? See this section of the chart? This May to like, what's that? July of Bitcoin. Does this look familiar to you at all? Does it look like the chart that I have on there as a screen? What about this one? Does this chart look familiar to you at all? Yeah, it's the same thing. But what you don't want to see, like a sign of it being distribution, is you're in an uptrend, right? You're in a price uptrend. You're creating higher highs and higher lows. But while you're creating those higher highs and higher lows, your volume is in a general downtrend. That is not good, right? And then another symbol, sign rather than symbol. I don't think that's a symbol. I mean, it's right here. Whenever the volume does peak and you're in this region, what is it? What color is it when it peaks? Right? See this? What color are your big peaks in volume, right? And then also, again, you're creating higher highs. You're having, this is, I don't know if this is a phrase, but it's volume divergence, okay? So it's my theory that, and the reason that this works is because, I'll just show you using this. See this rally right here? See what fueled it? This big green bar right here, right? That's a sign that institutions are supporting the price. See this? Boom. Big move up. See these big green volume spikes down here? Let me get my drawing tool. Directly below it though is what you want to be looking at. Disregard this trend line. Whoa. What am I doing? Where's my pen at, dude? Oh, here it is. I'm so dumb, dude. See, as this price is going up, you have these big volume spikes. This is institutional support, right? Now look at this. This is your first sign of dumping. This big red candle that dominates the volume for this whole period. Oh, okay. Maybe we're going into distribution, but you still see more upside, right? But volume isn't a general downtrend. Let me get back to AMC just so I can show you. So, see here. Look at the rocket ship in June, right? Hold on. So, rocket ship in June. You see this big, strong volume come in. That's a really good sign. It dips back down. The volume goes down with it. Boom. That means that bulls were in control. Now, right, you come back down here, and then you start to create those higher highs again. But look at what your volume's doing. Clear sign of distribution. This means that institutions were slowly trying to sell off to retail, keeping retail's hopes up, right? So they're getting out of the way, letting retail buy the price back up, and then they're slowly selling it to them at these higher highs. They're creating a short-term price rally like around here to send the price back up so they can sell again. Boom, boom, boom. But then, let me delete all this. But then, volume basically disappears, right? There's almost no volume, and the volume that does come in is green. throughout this whole period, right? That's accumulation. That's at least how I see it. And so for those of you who stuck around here, I'll share this. Currently with Bitcoin, this is how I'm seeing Bitcoin. I don't have the schematic on hand, but if you dig around and you do a little bit of research on what reaccumulation is, I drew this chart, which is a reaccumulation chart with the path right here and everything. I didn't edit anything. I drew it when Bitcoin was like right here. I posted on Twitter too, so if you go dig back in my Twitter, you can find it. But I drew this and I drew the path and everything, and look at what Bitcoin has done since then. The reason that I knew that this was going to happen is because in this era of the chart, let's see, like since here, right? You're looking at the volume. You can see that the volume was in a general downtrend, but whenever it had those spikes, it was in the favor of the bulls, right? You have green spikes in volume. And so I knew that that means that it's going to be reaccumulation. And so then we're going to see upside in the near term. So look up the reaccumulation schematic and you'll be able to make a little bit more sense of this if you compare it side by side. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. You know, as far as AMC goes, dude, like if it doesn't, I mean, I'm patient. I already know what's happening now. You know, I've seen enough evidence. I've seen the volume, comparative volume, and just looking at who is supporting the price. And to me, it looks like bullish institutions are supporting the price. So I feel like you're going to see pretty big upside here in the short term. I mean, you might see this big move up, you know, up into this $50-something region, come back down to the $40, $45 region. But I'll tell you what, if it does that, I'm going to be seeing this as a big opportunity, because I think that the next swing up is going to be well above $100 in my opinion. But that's not financial advice, and nothing in this channel is. That's just how I'm seeing it. And just to answer to that a little bit too, I know that I posted that video about Lou on Money a few hours ago, and a lot of people are saying, oh well, he's not, you know, whatever his intentions, like whatever. They're saying that he's just trying to get people to like not post YouTube videos so that they don't influence people to sell. I'm not going to influence anybody to sell anything. I'm not going to tell you guys what my like targets are, that sort of thing, blah, 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 just because my goal is just to analyze the chart, whatever the chart is telling me. Now, as far as a short squeeze goes or MOAS or anything like that, like this isn't the channel for that, man. Like I'll tell you personally that, you know, whatever like big peak numbers that you have and stuff like that, just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You know, like don't put yourself in a position to where if it doesn't hit your number or whatever, that, you know, you lose everything that you gained or whatever, because it's just not a good place to be. So not financial advice, so you can do whatever you want. You can hold up until $1 million a share or something if you want, but that's on you, not me. So yeah, so that's the video, and I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll be on Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, it's completely free to join. And yeah, until next time, you guys take it easy. Peace.